Please donate and subscribe. Jay Goldberg is with me. He is with the Canadian Taxpayers Federation. And we have, well, I was going to say you and I have a bone to pick with what the government has done. And it's with Indians, Indigenous. They have a lot of money flowing from great projects and from government. When Trudeau became Prime Minister, he dropped the audit. And I've heard from just Indians, rank and file, they say, you know what, we don't know anymore where the money goes. And explain to me the need for an audit.
Well, listen, First Nations individuals all across the country, they need an auditor general. And the reason is right now, if you live in any other part of the country and you don't live on a reserve, what you can do, if you think there's any kind of spending mishap with the government, you can go to the Auditor General and ask for an investigation. First Nations cannot do that. They do not have an Auditor General. So if there's spending mishaps going on reserves, there is no one individual band members can turn to ask for a full investigation into this. And this is where you have the possibility of corruption.
And let me take that one step further, because there are many chiefs and reserves that run well. They run solid businesses, they make money, and they account for it. And there's some other ones who do not do that, and they don't account for it. And when an Indian says, you know, put up a hand at a meeting, they said, it's none of your business. Well, that goes on.
We're working with a gentleman, Hans McCarthy, who's out in the prairies, and he's identified what he thinks is tens of millions of dollars that's gone missing at the Frog Lake Reserve. And but he has no one to turn to. He has no recourse because there's no Auditor General for him to say, we need someone to look into this. So he's left without recourse. He has nothing to do. And this is the problem. You've got First Nations all across the country who don't have the opportunity to have someone look into the leadership and make sure funds are being spent correctly. We need to have that. Everyone deserves that, and that's fundamental, and we need to have a First Nations Auditor General in Canada.
Now, Jay, it was the Harper government that brought in an Auditor General so that people did know, if you're in a tribe, on a reserve, where the money was going in. And when Trudeau got in, he said you can trust them implicitly. But no one with tens of millions of dollars going through their accounts, some are to be trusted. Others, though, it's too much of a risk.
Well, look, there should be anywhere where you can have a government or a leadership that is not, there's no recourse for investigation into financial mismanagement. It doesn't matter where you are, where in the country, if you're on a reserve, if you're dealing with government, it doesn't matter. There needs to be accountability, and the fact that you don't have this recourse, it's unfair and it's wrong for First Nations individuals. They're the ones who are suffering the most because of all this, because all of these funds are the funds that are going missing that McCarthy has investigated.
Jay Goldberg, you're absolutely on the money. Thanks very much. 3 minutes. To those of you who have subscribed and donated, a heartfelt thank you. You're keeping us on the air. If you're watching and you haven't, please try to do so, because 4 years ago we started this show because there needed to be independent analysis. Now more than ever, with the Online Harms Act, once that gets into law, it's been passed once by the House, there are going to be hundreds of bureaucrats censoring the news in Canada, censoring this show. We need to keep it on the air. Thanks for your support.